Final Fantasy IX remake. I
Yes,
feel like the
yes.
the hype, the excitement has only grown exponentially this year because it is the 25th anniversary of the game. Of
I
the
agree, man.
yeah.
So is this the year they finally do it? Is this the year?
Summer Game Fest likelihood I'm going with, let's go 8. I'm pretty high
Ooh,
on this one, dude. I'm pretty high on this
really?
one. I'm going to 8. I'm going to go 8. How about you? Where are you at
Ooh,
on this scale?
man, I'm giving it. I'm not trying to kill the hype, but I'm going to give it a 4. A little bit less than a 50-50,
Like that.
right?
Okay.
So I definitely think it's possible,
Hmm.
but I'm trying to keep my expectations low because man, I had the clown makeup on last time, and it's a good thing I was wearing it because I got clowned.
Hmm.
So yeah, we'll see.
That's right.
So let me ask you, since we're on this topic,
Yeah.
do you see a full modern reimagining or more like a faithful glow up? And then which do you want to see? Which do you think they're gonna do? And what would you prefer?
That's a great question. So I actually kind of want to throw this. I want to build some hype. I want to build some hype,
Mm.
and then I'm going to answer your question. So
Oh yeah.
to kind of go back, let's go back to 2023. Let's go back to July 2023. Now, mind
Take me
you,
back.
bro, this is almost 2 years ago at this point now. This is crazy. July 2023. This is on Game Mess Morning with Jeff Grubb. All right. So I kind
Mm.
of want to play that for you.
Confirmed or even came out by now, except for Final Fantasy IX Remake and Final Fantasy Tactics Remaster. I will say I heard very recently, once again, Final Fantasy IX Remake is real. Like that is real and happening. So, you know,
Do you think if they do that, they
There it is. Okay, so what he just said was Final Fantasy IX Remake is real. That is happening. That's coming from Jeff Grubb, very, very respected member, like games journalist, creator. I trust Grubb like almost 100% here, and then follows that up on Twitter. Same, July 9th, 2023, with I haven't talked about Final Fantasy 9 in weeks, but these rumors keep bouncing back and forth between blogs and Twitter and YouTube as if I've said something new or different. I've just said that it's definitely real, which of course it is. So,
Man, and this is 2 years ago, bro. That's crazy.
yeah. And this is not all. I mean, then if you want to stack on this hype, if you want to stack onto it, we'll give a little history lesson. We also have when I believe it was Yoshi P talking about Final Fantasy IX. I think it was about that collaboration event with Final Fantasy 14, and he's like, if you want to know why Final Fantasy IX is showing up, just have to stay tuned. And it was like, whoa,
Oh man.
that's dropping the
Yeah.
crazy hint. And then there was like him talking about like if I ever made it, I think a lot of people are assuming that I would make it action or something like that, but I wouldn't. I would have to keep it turn based. Like, and
Ooh.
he did say that in an interview, and I'll have to try to, if I can find it, I'll bring up the quote. That's me loosely quoting it. I'm paraphrasing here loosely, but basically he was like, I would make it turn based. Now this is coming from somebody who's in Square Enix, like he is on the inside here. So that would be some either it's him hinting at like it's going to be turn based, or it's
Right.
like casting some major shade on whoever is making this if it's not turn based. You know what I mean?
Man, yeah. Like so he's either trolling or he's throwing hints. It's one or the other.
I'm gonna go lean towards the hint. I just can't
Okay.
imagine him like be like, yo, they're making it action based, but if I did it, I wouldn't do that. I don't know. So I'm leaning towards turn based, and Jeff Grubb. A lot of people kind of took what he said on this Game Mess Morning thing as because he goes on to talk about the how would you want this to be? Would you want it to be like Final Fantasy VII remake style, or would you want it to be turn based? And I think like Jeff Grubb was like, I don't think it's on the scale of a Final Fantasy VII remake, and so he was
Right.
kind of dropping that. Of course, we don't know what he knows and what he's like willing to give away, like the information and stuff. So, but basically, I would say that I think it's going to be turn based. I think there's a reason why it should be turn based, and I actually did make a video on that. Like it was called ATB or Not to Be. Or at least that was
Wow.
the thumbnail. I don't know. I think the video is like, should it be turn based? But I made a video on why I think it should be turn based. I think it should be a beautification of the original game, right? Let's make that original game modernized in the terms of the graphics. Of course, if you are not familiar with it, check out the Memoria project, which is
Beautiful.
yeah, like this is a team of super fans, developers within the industry who decided to just, hey, we're gonna remake Alexandria in Unreal Engine 5, and they
Yeah, it's
did,
sick.
and you play
I
as
see
Vivi, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
man, so pretty, bro. That would be, yeah.
So I can
Oh
see
yeah.
that art style or that like graphics in Unreal
Hmm.
Engine 5, but
Yeah.
maybe even isometric camera like old school, or like old school camera, you know what I mean? Or
Hmm.
fixed cam or whatever. Uh but with that beautiful Unreal Engine 5 graphics everywhere. Maybe when you get into battles, it'll be more flashy, it'll look cooler, but it's still going to be at the core turn-based. That's where I'm
I
at
could
with
dig
it.
it.
What about you, man? What would you want? What do
Man,
you think we'll see?
you know what? I'm sort of in the same camp. Like, I want it to stay turn-based. I don't want an action version of Final Fantasy IX. I definitely want that, like you said, I want that RPX 16K Ultra HD glow up, because if I have to do jump rope again, man, I better be able to see the thread count of the cordage every time I trip,
Gotta
right?
have that
And it's
120 frames, man. You better let me
I need all of it, man.
get.
But yeah, like I'm in the same camp, man. Like I want it to look beautiful. I want it to maintain the style and the aesthetic. I think that's really important. Like its identity is in its style. And if they keep that, but they just elevate it, I think that they're right there. You know, you were talking about the combat and the presentation. Like they could definitely speed up, the intro to the combat and stuff like that. There's little ways that you could sort of spiff up what's already there without changing the core DNA. And I think that's what they should do.
Yeah, and
You know what I'm saying?
obviously, yeah, and add voiceovers got to be there.
Hmm.
Like
Oh, all right.
pretty up the
Bonus
cinematics.
question.
Yeah.
Bonus question. You can choose any actor to voice act Vivi, but it has to be Danny DeVito or Tom Holland. No, I'm just playing, man. If you
I'm
if
just
you could
imagining
throw
it
out
now. Funny
man,
thing
yeah,
is, though,
so
the funny thing is I think Tom Holland would actually do a pretty good job as Vivi. Like,
he would kill it,
yeah,
right? He would
like
kill
he would
it.
actually do good. Oh, that is funny. But
Or
Danny
anyone that
DeVito,
played
oh my god.
anyone, yeah, exactly.
I'll throw that one at the comment section. If you guys like, give it some thought. Who would you want to play Vivi? That's a great
Yeah.
question. Thanks, Excalibur. Who would you choose, real quick?
Man,
Do you
who
have?
would I choose for
Did you have
Vivi?
somebody in mind when you asked that question?
Bro, like somebody like maybe like Elijah Wood or something.
Oh
Like I want
wow, yeah.
like I mean, we're getting all these like high caliber guys in voice acting. I mean, Andy
Mm.
Serkis just played
Oh
War
my
in
god.
Expedition
Mm.
33. So I mean, I know it's a lot of voice acting for a character like Vivi, but give me somebody that surprises me. Or pick
Yeah.
some new up and comer that just nails it, right? I always look forward to seeing stuff like that. But I
Hmm.
think that kind of vocal quality, that sort of like meek, um, but very sort of sure at the same time. I think that could nail it. But what about
That's
you, bro?
that's an actually, you know what I'm thinking about right now. I'm like, that's an amazing like topic for a video, like to do like Final
Hmm.
Fantasy 9 Dreamcast. I like Dreamcast. Like the Dreamcasting. I like that. We'll come back to it. We'll revisit that topic. Real quick, another question before we get into the final part of Final Fantasy 9, and then move on to our next prediction. If it is announced, when do you think it would release? I look at the
I don't have
calendar,
it.
right? Like
Yeah.
looking at the calendar, and you're just like, all right, well, Rebirth came out last year, Rebirth on PC this year, but that
It's
was
got
like
to it's
top of the year, man. That was January 28th or something,
yeah,
right?
I
Or
mean,
20 the 30th or something.
if they announce it, I mean, we're talking they're announcing it in 2 weeks. If they announce it in 2 weeks, it's got to be like Christmas
Mm.
or next spring or summer. I don't think it's out much further than that because at that point you're definitely competing hype wise for remake 3. You know what I'm saying?
That's
Because
the
that's
key. Hmm.
You don't want to compete if you don't have to. So I'm thinking it's within the next year, man. I mean,
Hmm.
if we get that trailer, I'm getting hyped just thinking about that. That's crazy, bro. Like,
Yeah,
ooh,
and this is the 25th anniversary, so like it almost
mm,
feels like it's destined to be this year, like this winter, if you can hit holiday
mm,
season, that would be such
that
an
would be sick.
incredible an incredible drop, announcement and then release. Again, I think the scale of this might be a little bit like, tone it down. I think we would get, pretty much this the PS1 game, but it's, remade with voice acting and maybe prettier stuff. But also music is another interesting thing too, because a new version of Melodies of Life, supervised by the original composer Nobuo Uematsu and performed by the original singer
Mm,
Imoko Shiatori, for the upcoming anniversary vinyl Timeless Tale was released. Or, yeah, it was released recently. You can hear that
mm.
updated version of the song. It's like, that's a. I mean, what are we, re-recording songs now? Oh, wait a sec. We're not just re-recording. We're re-recording the theme?
Man,
That's
so we're gonna
something.
get some new arrangements. So it's our
Yeah.
this is in the works, man.
Yeah,
We just need to
something.
know how
Yeah.
far, how far along, how much longer do we have to wait? Because
New recent merch, new recent artwork. This stuff is just popping up, man. It's popping up. The
man,
Square Enix Twitter pages has been and social media accounts have been like posting. Of course, I know it's the 25th anniversary, so of course they're gonna celebrate. But are they celebrating this hard? Like the couple years ago was Final Fantasy VIII, and we didn't see anything. We
yeah,
didn't
that's
see
true.
anything from that. And then the last thing I want to say about this is, well, we talked about the Nvidia leak and how the Nvidia leak was 4 years ago at this point, and the Nvidia leak had Final Fantasy IX remake on it and
Yes, it did.
Final Fantasy Tactics
Yes,
remaster.
sir. Yes,
Uh,
sir.
so almost
I g-
everything, or in fact, it might be everything on the Nvidia leak has been announced and released since then,
yes, I believe it has. I believe it
except
has,
for Final Fantasy IX remake and Tactics. Like, coincidence? I think not.
bro. I gotta ask Dan. I have
Yeah.
never heard you talk about it. Have you played Final Fantasy Tactics?
Oh, absolutely, man.
Oh,
Absolutely. I
brother,
started with War
get
of the
give me
Lions on
that.
PSP.
Oh, did you?
Hmm.
I loved that, bro. That
Me
was
too.
such a sick upgrade.
Hmm.
I definitely played the original back in the day. Man, I was there when that one came out. Like,
I was
still
there.
got the jewel case, man. But dude, I need that Orlando magic, if you know what I'm saying.
The Orlando
Tactics,
Magic.
man, Tactics might have the most powerful playable Sid in any Final Fantasy. You know what I'm saying? Did I say might? Like, I'm pretty sure he is.
I,
Like,
I mean, until
like,
Final Fantasy 16 came, like I don't know, maybe there's something there where we got a guy turning into Ramu, but like
yeah. But I mean, in terms of just he
you might be right
crushes
though.
everything he goes up against. I
Yeah.
mean, does another Sid do it better? I don't know, man. But anyway, minor spoiler here. If we get that Tactics remaster, please make the cameo character better this time around because he was
Ah,
trash. He was trash for a secret character. We all love this guy. You know who I'm talking about.
I
And for
do.
anybody who hasn't played it, I'm not going to say it, but if you gotta know, go look it up. Um, but so what do you give it? I mean, I give Tactics like maybe a 2 out of 10. I don't know if we're gonna see that right now.
Okay. To It's interesting because I have some stuff to back this up. So with Final Fantasy Tactics Remaster also being on the Nvidia leak, also being one of the only games that have not been announced and released since then, 4 years ago. Well, Asano was the producer of 2022's Triangle Strategy. That's Team Asano, or just Asano himself. Uh, Tomoa. I'm sorry. Tomoyo Asano was the head of Team Asano at Square Enix. Told Famitsu in 2024, we will be able to release a variety of titles and information, from the big ones to the not so big ones. And then it says 2023 was mainly a year of preparation, but some titles are finally approaching the final stages of development. Now, we also know that Asano is responsible for the HD 2D remasters and all that other stuff. So we do know, like we had Dragon Quest HD 2D, we had that Dragon Quest 3, and then Dragon Quest 1 and 2, which Dragon Quest 1 and 2 will probably get an announcement at Summer Game Fest of like a release date and then release, right? Because that hasn't even come out yet.
Man, and I have an adjacent prediction to that when we get there, but let's
I got a Dragon Quest prediction as well. It's crazy.
It's Dragon Quest adjacent. That's all I'm gonna say for now. We'll get to it.
Mine too, actually. This is odd. So yeah, I mean, the fact that when Triangle Strategy came out in 2022, I felt like this is them warming up. This is them dipping their toes in the water of trying to figure out tactics video games and like making sure they got it down before they tackle one of the most important tactics games in history, Final Fantasy Tactics. So I feel like Triangle Strategy, precursor. That was 2022. We are fast forward 3 years. Yeah, I think it's time that we will see it soon. I would also go with you where I would say if Final Fantasy IX is there, unless if they do some sort of like big blowout, Square Enix is like coming out there and just putting everything on the table. I don't know if it's ready yet. It's one of those things where I'm like, maybe I'm at a 5, maybe I'm right down the middle. It could go either way.
50-50.
Yep. All right. So there was that, and let's keep it on Asano for a bit. This is adjacent to Final Fantasy, so I won't spend too much time on it. But hey, Bravely Default 3 could be something in the works. Yeah. So I feel like that could be something to keep your eye out on. We do have Bravely Default Flying Fairy, which is the remake of the first one, coming out on the Switch 2 at launch. So of course there will be like a launch trailer, like, hey, go buy the game. It's out now, because when Summer Game Fest comes out, or Summer Game Fest Live, it'll be a day after the Switch 2 release. And so it'll be like, hey, here's a reminder. Do they follow that up with like, and here's also something to look forward to? I'm going lower on that hype scale. I just kind of wanted to mention it. It could be a possibility.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, while we're on this Dragon Quest adjacent, so earlier this year, Square Enix Twitter, their account posted to mark the 30th anniversary and express our gratitude to everyone who's played Chrono Trigger so far. We're planning a variety of projects over the next year that will go beyond the world of the game. So, and then a couple weeks ago, rather, there was that translator slip up, right? He mentions the remake. This has been debunked, confirmed to be mistranslation. But when asked directly about Chrono Trigger, Yuji Horii mentioned the Dragon Quest remakes and said, I get a lot of requests for the remake of Chrono Trigger as well. So I'm starting to contemplate on it. Now, I give this a 0 out of 10. This is just my personal hype, where it's like, this is something I want. This is on that list of things that even just this barest tidbit of information would just be so juicy right now.
God. You know, like Jeff Keighley wants to get out and get those juicy announcements, even if it's just like an announcement that it's being made. We saw that with Okami, right? Yes. But I would say, and we're also looking at Summer Game Fest. Like, to be honest with you, Summer Game Fest is almost being overshadowed by the Game Awards. Like the Game Awards, both are Keighley. Keighley's living it up, man. Jeff Keighley loves this stuff. But it doesn't really matter too much because he owns both of them, but Summer Game Fest needs to bring back that prestige. It needs to bring back those big announcements. The Game Awards last year was freaking, like, it reminded me of E3 of old, man. Like, I'm hoping that Summer Game Fest can bring that energy that we saw at the Game Awards. So something like that, just to be an announcement, amazing. Just a couple quick ones, quick fire, easy ones for you that I think are extremely likely. Likely. Final Fantasy 16 on Xbox.
Okay. Yep.
Extremely likely for me. I think it'll be at the Xbox showcase. Final Fantasy VII Remake on Xbox. Possibly.
On Xbox.
Bring it down a little bit, but I think it might come to Xbox. We got it coming to Switch too.
Right.
Hey, let's bring it on over to Xbox, so that way it's everywhere. And then, so those are some quick rapid fire, easier ones. But I think Final Fantasy 16 is almost a surefire, dude. I think it's coming to Xbox. Now, I want to talk about, before we get into the one that everybody's like, yo, I can't believe you haven't mentioned it yet. Final Fantasy Origin 2. Final Fantasy Origin 2. Not Stranger of Paradise 2, but Final Fantasy Origin. What do you got for me, man?
Okay, so I have a little bonus top 5 least likely announcements. And on that list, I have Stranger in Paradise 2, titled Stranger in Pandemonium, Guy Speak Beaver.
That's a great question.
Stranger in Pandemonium is serious. The other part was a joke, but I mean, come on. The title is right there, right?
Citizen of Pandemonium. Whoa. Ruler of Pandemonium. No, so like that's a great segue into the question I have here. All right. Is it Jack? Do you want to play as Jack as the main character, or is it Emperor Mateus?
Man,
I love Jack. Like, you know what I mean?
Like I like Jack, but at the same time, I'm like, I kind of want him to give me Mateus. I think that'd be dope.
Yeah,
he's a pretty standout character. In my opinion, like,
oh, dude, I think it would be incredible. And like, you know, everybody says Star Wars or Final Fantasy 2 is Star Wars, right? Let's continue that going with an awesome spin-off about the origin of like Emperor Mateus and the rise of the Wild Rose Rebels, right? I want an origin story of the Rebels as well. Give me the origin story of how that formed, the origin story of the what was it, the Palmesian Empire. Bro, that would be so freaking cool. And you can do that. You could even do that with Jack as the main character. And Jack can be like this through line in this series. Of course, I'm considering this not canon at all. Like I don't think any of this stuff is canon, but we get like a cool, like, from Jack's perspective going to these worlds. We already had Emperor Mateus come in the DLC for Stranger of Paradise. So maybe he goes in there to Final Fantasy 2 world, and we get the origin. God, freaking Jack is the one that helps like assemble the rebels or something. Like he's the original leader of the rebels, like the formation of it. But no, okay, so to go back to the prediction part of this, I want to bring in Rise of Ronin, which was a PS5 game that came out a year ago, early last year. I think this was early last year. But I think that could be the possible foundation of a more open world FF Origin game now. So like Stranger of Paradise, one of the issues I had with it was like, man, I wish this was an open world rather than going to the map and picking where you want to go.
Right.
Rise of Ronin, same team. Well, I'm assuming it's the same team. It's a Team Ninja. It's, you know, the same like development team that works on Stranger of Paradise. So I'm kind of like, that could be a precursor to an open world there. And then also when Stranger of Paradise director Inoue was asked about what franchises he'd like to receive the Stranger of Paradise action treatment. This was a joke question almost, but he was like, Dragon Quest. He said, while it may not...
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, this is my adjacent, Dragon Quest adjacent. While it may not resonate with people overseas, if we dare make the somewhat gentle, laid-back world of Dragon Quest one that is more aggressive and thrilling, this may be a good opportunity to have a wider audience overseas get to know the franchise. So something to kind of throw out there. What if it was a Stranger of Paradise Dragon Quest origin? You know what I mean? Like, what?
Yeah, you could put that on my bingo card for you know, things I didn't expect you to say. But that's interesting, man. Dude, that could be dope.
That would be wild. All right, so let's get to the last part here. This is turning out to be a 30-minute podcast, but it's okay. You guys like what we just talked about. Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 3. So there you go. That has been our Summer Game Fest predictions. I might even break this up into separate videos, so that way I know the people who want to click on the remake video, they'll be able to click on that. So thank you so much for watching. Take care now. Bye then.